Yo, what's good? You know who it is. It's your boy Hustler88 and welcome to the channel. It's known like a mug. If you're in the north side, you can know what I'm talking about. You can relate to it. But if you're in the west, you can't relate to it because, you know, it always snow at the west, especially in California. But let's get off topic. Let's talk about the Order 886. Now, there's been like negative comments about the Order 886 saying that is garbage, saying that you shouldn't pick up the game because it's a waste of money, it's a waste of $60. I can't tell you to get the Order 886. You have to have your own preferences. You have your own preferences of choosing the game. I have my own preference of choosing the game. If you don't like the game, don't pick it up. If you do, pick it up. But I'm gonna explain my reasons why, you know, the Order 886 has its own potential of reaching into another sequel. Because the Order 886, I can tell based on the gameplay, based on the positive reviews from other YouTube channels, you can tell that this is going to be a lot more better. It's a lot more frequent with the second one. But they need to fix a little bit more because, you know, Ready or Dine is just like the first developer. You know, this their first IP, so it's not bad because, you know, when you first get into the gaming industry, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot more innovative, a lot more fun. But let's get off topic. Let's talk about the cons to this game. Now, the con to this game, you know, there's various issues towards the Order 886. It's not a perfect game, but the Order 886 has some issues. Now let's start up with the camera angles. Now when you go on cover with Galahad, like Galahad is a really innovative, immersive character that stars off in the Industrial Revolutionary War in the 1886 era. Basically with the camera angle, like every time when you go on combat, it's like it's just too close. Like it doesn't have enough space to give him the breathe, give him a chance to breathe. Let him breathe. Like, come on. Like, it's just too close. The camera angle is too close. You can't really see the action. Sometimes you can't really see the action. But in terms of the camera angle, like, they really need to fix that. You know, it's not a big issue, but they really need to fix it. Next time when they make another one, they can probably fix that and utilize that as in a good way, so they can be able to just see the characters more. There'll be a lot more spacing. I like third-person shooters, but not that close with that protagonist. Let's start off with the slow pacing. Like the slow pacing, that's the second part. The slow pacing to this game, like I was so irritated with the slow pacing. Sometimes when you go into combat, you can really get shot pretty fast if you're not really like vigorous about who you encounter with the enemies, especially with the button props, because sometimes when you like going to war against other enemies, it's like you pretty much like have that, the timing is not like, it's not relatable. Like when you get into combat, you get shot pretty fast. Slow pacing. But what else they have? I wrote down some notes, just bear with me. Button props. Now the button props, like this is a really big issue with the button props because, you know, sometimes like on certain cutscenes, like when in terms of the button props, like it don't give you the options of picking up the object. Like you have to like really force yourself to pick up the object. Sometimes you really have to force yourself to press a button to encounter an enemy to execute. In order to execute the enemy, you have to press a certain button. And with that, I didn't really like that. It didn't give you an option to do that. Maybe, hopefully, prayerfully that, you know, Ready or Dine would actually fix that, would utilize that in a way that will give us options to choose it. I think they did that with The Last of Us. Well, Naughty Dog was the creator of Last of Us, not Ready or Dine, but, you know, Naughty Dog, they did a little bit of it, but that game was a really good game. Basically, the story was driven, really good story-based driven game. What else? Longer cutscenes. Like when you get at a certain chapter, like say for example chapter 3, like I understand that the story is so immersive, it's so good, it's so like cohesive, but at the same time it's like I want to play. Like I don't want to like have to force myself to watch the cutscene. Like come on son, like really, like I really want to play it. Like come on, let me play the game. Like I don't want to wait. I'm impatient right now. But now let's go to the pros. Sorry, I can't speak today. You know I can't really speak. But no, I'm joking. But let's go to the pros. Let's go to the story. Now the story, like when you first start playing the game, like you're gonna be like mind blown. Like wow, like when you first play it, it's like this game proves to the critics that criticize the game, they gave a negative score, and it's gonna prove that this game has that potential because they just started. It's just a new IP. Now with the story, it takes place in London. Your job is to actually dismantle all these half-breeds, which is the wolves. These half-breeds was once human, but actually they turn into these Wolverines. And actually with this game, like you have all these four protagonists. Now these four protagonists have this split personality. This is what I like about the story of this game, because like when you play certain games, when you play like third-person shooter games, it's like some of these games that have longer story modes, it's out of order, it's incohesive, like it's unorganized, and some of the stuff like you get confused, like okay, where's the story going into? But with the Order 1886, it takes it back to like the historical aspects of where it all started, with the way of overcoming the oppression, because this game takes place in London, and actually Galahad is the person that is the leader that takes in charge of hunting down the Lycans, which is actually what I talked about earlier. The Lycans are actually the half-breeds, and your job is to actually destroy all the half-breeds and anything that oppose the city, the society. But now let's get to the graphics. Now, hands down, the graphics speaks for itself. Like when you first start playing the Order 1886, your mind is gonna be like, wow, like this is actually realistic type of graphics. Like when you use like the button props, like when you look at certain weapons, it's like wow, like they put everything into detail. Like the weapons of itself, like for example, if you look at like different type of 21st century weapons, it's like they put structure, like the texture of the weapons is like wow. Like you can't say the graphics is horrible. I can't say anything about Rise because I haven't even played the game. I don't own the Xbox One, but be on the lookout for the Xbox One unboxing. But let's get off topic. With Rise, like I saw the gameplay, and the graphics of itself is really detailed, it's really realistic. Now, to compare Rise into the Order 1886, I can't say it's better than the Order 1886, but based on the looks of it, the Order 1886 is way better than Rise, because the Order 1886 has this type of feel where the character models, the environment, the scenery, like everything is just so detailed. What else? Weapons. Like when you first start playing the Order 1886, in terms of the weapons, when you get into like different chapters, like you explored like different territories and different laboratories where you see like different weapons. And what's so different about this game from the overall other games is like the weapons. Like, oh my god, like when you start playing with these weapons, it's like, wow, like they created something that no one else did. Like the weapons, certain weapons that is created as electronically, like when you start shooting at the enemies, it's like, wow, like you can actually see the realism effect towards the weapons, like the powerful weapons. Like it's some of these, like for example, you have a shotgun that is like automatically electronic, like electric. Like when you start shooting at the enemies or when you shoot at the half-breeds, it's like, oh my goodness, like you can actually see the effect, like smoke just blows up. That's all I have to say about the weapons. The frame rate, I didn't have no issues with the frame rate whatsoever. Like it was no slow pacing in terms of the gameplay. Now with the combat, it was some slow pacing, but in terms of the game of itself, like when you get into combat, when you start shooting at the enemies, it's like I didn't experience no lagging, no nothing. Like it didn't freeze up or nothing, which is a good sign, because you know normally when games come out, like they have so much glitches, they have so many frame rates issues, but with this game I had no issues whatsoever. What else? And that's pretty much it. Just tell me what you think about this video. Leave your thoughts, comments, like, subscribe, unsubscribe if you can. But till next time, please share this video to your friends, family, strangers, whoever you are, and I'm out. Deuces, peace. God bless.